Aloha Monday, gonna swim till Saturday. And it's Aloha Monday, and it's breakfast with
Welcome to Breakfast from Kona. We are presented by Active. My name is Bob Babbitt. That, of course, is the amazing Poncho Man.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Our sponsors are Timex, Rudy Project, GoPro, MPA Graphics, Lava Magazine, and Babbittville Radio. Our first guest. What a better way to start off our tour of Kona this week than with the three-time Ironman World Champion and course record holder, Mr. Craig Alexander. Crowie is on the senior tour. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
I love having you with us. So a few months ago, we were here for Honu, and at that time, you were talking about that you were retired from long-distance training and long-distance racing, but something changed, and you're here.
Yeah, well, you know, to be honest, I got the idea in my head back in January when the main thing was Austin didn't start school. And right off the back of that, I started getting a lot of requests for appearances in North America around June and July.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, I planned a family trip to Brazil to watch the World Cup in soccer. And, you know, with Austin not in school, Neri and I thought it made sense to come back to Boulder for another summer. And, you know, it's exactly the reason I jumped in and did Melbourne off short notice, because I didn't want to close the door completely on it. And
Right.
But there was a lot of things, you know, I had to get fit for one and get in good shape to come and race these boys. And I just wanted to leave the option there. So, you know, I came to the US with the family. We set up camp in Boulder like we always do. Went to the World Cup in June, which was awesome.
I was going to say, how was that?
That was a once in a lifetime experience. You know, both my kids play soccer back home in Australia, and
that's your background.
Yeah, I grew up playing soccer, so I mean, I'd only ever seen them on TV. To actually be there live and in Brazil, it was mate, it was huge. We had a great family holiday, and got back to Boulder at the end of June after that, and I started trying to get my body in shape. And you know, I think, you know, I've said all along, when you get into your mid to late 30s, every year people say, is it your last? Is it your last? And I truly thought last year it was the last.
Sure.
You know, it wasn't a result of the flat tire or the bad result. It was more, I thought, you know, things always normally come to a natural conclusion. I thought that was it for me. I knew I'd always come back to this place, and I thought I would be watching this year. But as I said, in January, things changed, and I got it in my head straight away. But there was a lot of things that I had to do to get in shape to make it a reality and actually try and race here.
Is it harder at 41 to get in that shape? You know, I've talked to a lot of guys as they age, and they talk about, you know, I can still do the same workouts, but I need more time in between. I can't string them together like I used to. It's
harder. It's harder and easier. I mean, I think what you do get is more experience, and also you're operating from 15 or 20 years of a good foundation of fitness.
Yeah.
So you can't do as much, but you probably don't need to do as much. And I think the hardest thing is just the mental appreciation that that's the way it is.
Right.
That you can't go out and do those hard sessions every third or fourth day or twice a week, you know, those benchmark sessions that you always did. So I think once you wrap your head around that, that's the first challenge. And there's a lot of body work. You know, I had to get a lot of physio and different things, and I think that's an inevitable part of getting older. But you know, I feel in pretty good nick for a 41-year-old.
You look pretty damn good. So when I look back, Roy, when I look at, you know, when you won Kona and set the course record in 11, you're, you know, 38 years old, oldest guy to ever win the race, and you look at your level of, you go there and you go 8:03, and in March of 12 you go 7:57, right? And run 2:38 off the bike, and had to run a 2:38 off the bike because Cam Brown was right there, and Frederick Van Leer. It was an amazing day going, you know, 2:38, 7:57. Two world-class performances like that, really in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Because when you think back, if you didn't have to do another Ironman, you would just be focusing on Kona.
Yeah.
Was that tough for you all of a sudden? You have that type of two amazing performances. How do you come back from that?
Absolutely. You know, I think after the race in Kona in 11, my next race was Melbourne. And they were two very hard efforts, which took me a long time to get over. You know, I think my next race after Melbourne was a good one, but then after that, I was very inconsistent, which hadn't been the case in the past. And yeah, no, I mean, had I not had to validate,
you wouldn't have been there.
No, absolutely not. And you know, I've always said on the record, obviously, as a guy who'd won the race, for me, the main privilege of winning was the fact that I could turn up and race in Kona. And that's what I loved. And I didn't agree with the rule change. That's my personal opinion. And, of course, as a winner, you're not going to agree with it.
Well, I share it. My feeling is that you want the best guys here. And, you know, someone like yourself, if you've been a champion, there's no reason why you can't just come back and be a champion again.
Yeah, well, I think if a race has a 35-year history, and that's the way it's been for 25 or 30 years, to then suddenly change something like that,
yeah.
I don't know. I didn't agree with it, and I still don't. But maybe that's because I'm just an old fart now.
Exactly. But again, the thing is, everybody's following the same rules, so that's
Yep.
great. So for you now, knowing that I'm assuming this is the last in Kona, but you never want to say that, maybe.
Yeah.
But knowing it probably is at the age of 41 at that level, and the guys who are coming in with Sebastian and the people are so fast.
Yeah.
How do you take this week? Do you savor this week and savor every minute of it?
Yeah, you know, I'm nervous like I always am, but I am trying to enjoy it. I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say this is the last time I'm going to be here because I know what it takes to get here.
Yeah.
And you know, with a business that I'm trying to start and 3 children, it's just not possible to spend the time that you need to spend. But I was excited to come back because, like you mentioned, a lot of those guys and Luke McKenzie and Fredino, I think it's an exciting year to be here racing because it is a changing of the guard, and those are the guys who are going to carry the torch here for the next 5 years or more. So, I wanted to throw my hat in the ring one more time, but it is tough, and you know, I think it's not so much just your age and getting old, or getting older, should I say? It's more the things that you have to do. Like if you want to set up a coaching business, you actually need to spend some time doing it.
You have to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was one of the things that got shelved this year, and it's always going to be there though. So yeah, I just, my first love is racing. I have a passion for this sport and a passion for this race. And when the door wasn't completely shut, and when I got the opportunity, I just jumped at it.
What I love about someone like real champions to me are people who reinvent themselves. Not reinvent, but change. Dave Scott was never considered a runner, right? Everybody's like, okay, he's got to get elite. Paula, same type of thing. And both of them made what had been considered maybe a weakness into a strength. After 2010, you went and became one of the top cyclists, right? Not that you weren't a great cyclist, but you had a formula for winning.
Yep.
I can stay with these guys and then run away.
Yep.
And then the formula was exposed to a certain degree,
Yep.
and you had to reinvent yourself. You have to look at that and go, okay, I won a number of different ways here.
Yeah, no, it's very gratifying. I think it's one thing Greg Walsh said to me years ago when I first met him is, you want to, take pride in being versatile, not just being able to race different distances, but being good in all the disciplines. You should take a pride in your performance in the swim, the bike, and the run, and you want to be world class in all of them. And that was something that he said to me that stuck with me my whole career. So it's very satisfying to have won waiting for the marathon. It's also satisfying in 2011 to have swum close to the front and then took off on the bike with 2 or 3 other guys. So I think it's nice to know that you have the ability to do that, and it's hard to change a formula that's brought you success though. And I think it's not until absolutely, and it's not until that, like you say, that you get exposed, that you're forced to do it, and it's daunting, but it's rewarding at the same time.
When you look at other athletes, like a Pete Jacobs wins here in 2012, and it's you know what it was like after you won the first time. You feel like, okay, I've done it.
Yeah.
How tough is it to get back and win it again? Because everybody's pointing at you after the first time.
It's hard. It's hard for a lot of reasons, because I think, first of all, a lot of commercial opportunities present, and your job apart from racing is to make money.
Take care of your family.
Absolutely. You have a financial obligation, and as an athlete, you only have a certain amount of time where you can really capitalize on those opportunities. And I know Pete got a lot of good opportunities, which he capitalized on, but it all chips away at the time that you have then to devote to what you'd always done, which is just eat, sleep, and train. And I think also, like you mentioned, that mental shift where your competitors see you differently, and it does become much harder to win. So I'm tipping Pete to have a great race this year, though. I think, obviously he's had the illness and the injury things going on, and that's another thing which plays into what you talked about before with the qualification. It's such a tough sport, and the distances are so long. You have a very small margin for error to get it right on that day and have your body right. And I think Pete has got himself right this year, and I think you'll see the best of him like we saw those 3 years where he was really up there contesting for the win. And
Yes.
But sometimes it takes a year or two off just to gather yourself and get yourself back to that kind of shape mentally and physically.
So reflections on, you came over here for first time in 07, you went second, first, fourth, first. I mean, so reflections on your favorite moments from if this turns out to be your last time racing here as a pro.
Yeah, I think my first year here, just having never been here to see the race and watched it on TV so many times, having been a short course racer, I never had met Norman and Peter and a lot of those guys.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so to get to meet those guys that I'd only ever read about or seen on television, and just the whole atmosphere here, it's unique. It's unlike anything I'd ever experienced in my sporting life. So, the first year here is a fond memory, and obviously the first win here.
Yes.
It's something you dream about, and I think even as time passes, it feels surreal that I was able to win here.
It almost seems like it's somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're in the moment, you're so focused, and you feel it's kind of like your job, and you're just doing what you're supposed to do. But it's a huge honour to qualify to race here, to win here. It's just special. I would love to tell you what it feels like, but I can't. I've heard Norman and a few others say the same thing. It's just so hard to put into words what it means to you personally and to your family. But it's a huge honour, and as you get older, you reflect more on these things. I know when I won the first time, I did enjoy it, but I was also focused on trying to win again, and then trying to cash in on those commercial opportunities. And there's not a lot of time to bask in it. You're just straight on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So, I've got so many fond memories here, and I'm going to come back for years just to watch and to support and to work with my sponsors. It's a magical week.
The other thing for you, when you first started coming over here, you were just beginning a family.
Yep.
And Lucy, jumping on you after you won the first time and telling you, Daddy, we're so proud of you for doing this whole big race all by yourself.
Yeah.
that watching your family grow here as well has to be pretty special.
No, it's been awesome. I mean, Lucy, all the time now when we're clearing customs, she's, people say, have you been to Hawaii before? Yeah, I've been here 10 times. She's an old hat. Yeah, she knows the place very well. And I think it's great to be able to share it. I've been lucky to be able to share it with the family and have such a supportive family and wife. And, it's quite a big brood now. There's, our luggage, we have more strollers and car seats than bike equipment. But
you need a Sherpa.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. So, but no, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. And, the kids, Lucy and Austin will be doing the Kiki Dip and Dash tomorrow. They love that. Lucy's already got a game face on for that one. So,
it's chip off the old block.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But, it's awesome. And you see so many of the athletes, pros and age groupers alike, bring their families here, and it's just a great atmosphere. It almost feels like a family atmosphere. There's so many people here supporting, and I'm really lucky to have been able to share it with them the whole time, the whole journey.
Does coming down a lead drive first obviously is very special, but just coming down it at all, it's still magical, isn't it?
Absolutely. Last year I got that flat tire early and then chased, and didn't have the ending I wanted. But it's so great to run down there. You feel the energy and the goosebumps, and I think I felt as emotional last year coming down because I ended up running down with a good friend, TJ Tollickson. We came down the finish chute together, and it's special. I mean, your first thing you're trying to achieve here is actually just to get to the finish, which is not always easy in an Ironman, and particularly here in these conditions. So it's super rewarding. It feels like that is your reward for the effort of the day, and the crowd's always electric along here. So it's just a magic feeling.
Love it. Croy, thanks for always being such a class act. We love chatting with you, especially now that you're on the senior tour. And I heard there's really big dollars going into the senior triathlon.
That's why I'm hanging around.
Poncho Man, come on in and take us out. Poncho Man's on the senior tour. The senior ukulele tour, SUK.
It's Aloha Monday, breakfast with Bob. Almost had a senior moment.
Yes, we did. He forgot the words. That's so nice. Again, we are brought to you by Timex, Rudy Project, GoPro, MPA Graphics, Lava Magazine, Battleville Radio, and we are presented by Active. Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back.